hello there. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 17 of the Human Experience Hangout series, and I'm super giddy because I have a pal with me today, not just a cyber pal, but we've met in the physical. Fabulous human being, and many know him from Truth Quest, the most excellent program, podcast, and YouTube that can now be found on Rumble. But what some may or may not know is Mr. Aaron Moriarity was a creator of toys and puzzles, and he's the owner of Hot Games and Puzzles LLC, and on the YouTube show that is still around, the 3 a.m. Studios. He has some of his cartoons and some of his events on there. But I'm just giddy to talk all things toys today with my pal Aaron. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Hi, Heidi. Well, if I was doing any better, I'd be you, of course.
How is that intro? Is that improv-y enough and random enough?
Perfect.
Well, what I'm excited is because I love Truth Quest. I know many people love Truth Quest, but we've always bonded over the toys and the games. And as an educator and as a mom, I am over the moon at the products you have because, of course, they're from the heart, but they're so very. Your flip cars are my favorite right now, but I've seen them all. And most of his games right now that he had he's gifted to me, I've taken to the Learning Center and they've loved them and they're kind of living there right now. So I have to remember to bring it home once in a while because even my son is like, where's the cubes? So I just want to talk about all those things today. So you started though in like Hasbro, right? Or you started in some major companies.
Well, I did work at Hasbro, but before I went to Hasbro, I worked, and thank you, Heidi, for having me. I really enjoy your shows too. You're doing some fabulous work, and I just love what you're doing. You rock.
You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you for always supporting for years now.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I was in high school, and I was having ideas for games. I had specifically a game idea, and I was living in Mound, Minnesota, with my parents because I was still in school. And there were 3 toy companies and game companies in Minnesota at the time, and so I was calling them up to see if they wanted to see a new concept. And they all told me, we don't see people off the street. You have to be with a well-known inventor. So they gave me the name of this guy, Charlie Gersh, in St. Paul, Minnesota, from Windsor Concepts. And so I went over there and met with him and his wife, Maria, fabulous people. They've since moved, I think, to the West Coast. But he was very impressed with what I had. And what I had was a board game called Walk Your Dog. It was a game of you walk your dog around the board and try not to mess in the neighbor's yard. And I like to get rabies. And in the center was a spinner that was a fire hydrant. That was the spinner to see how many moves you went.
Nice. I like that.
He agreed to represent my products, and he actually sold one of my products to Play School, and that was Button-Ons, and that was in the early 80s. And then, so that's how I got my start, and I worked for a couple other invention firms, and then I was working actually at a daycare when I got the call from Hasbro.
Oh, okay.
And they said, I know you're at work right now. I know you probably can't talk. I'm like on the phone, and I was kind of frazzled at this point, and the kids were going nuts. And I said, no, I can talk. I can totally talk. And so I luckily got that job, and I was super lucky to work there at Hasbro in the 83, 84 years. Mm-hmm. And right when they broke $1 billion, they were the first company to break $1 billion, and it was just a joy. And the people there were just fantastic, and I just really liked it.
Awesome! I can't believe when you said the pop The pop-ums, button-ons. The button-ons. Those were their little characters you put on the buttons. That was the 80s? That was the early 80s you did? Because that's so sweet.
Yeah,
That's cute.
yeah. And they had Cabbage Patch Kids on them. They had Snuggle Bums. They had they were going to have Garfield and a bunch of others, and Master of the Universe too. That was pretty cool at that time.
Love that one. Did you share this stuff with the preschool class, or did you get maybe inspired by the kids in the preschool class or daycare class?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, that's an interesting story too. I was unemployed in the early 80s when we were going through a recession and there weren't a whole lot of jobs. And in Minnesota, our governor, Rudy Perpich, started a work program where he created state-created jobs to get people back in the workplace. So I went there and they put you through a class how to write a resume. They did like a video session where you practiced doing interviews. And it's actually the resume I generated from that class that got me into Hasbro.
Okay.
Later.
Nice.
But the job I said, I'm a toy inventor. I'd like to maybe get a job at a toy store so I could kind of keep up with toys. And the lady said, well, we don't have any toy stores, but we do have a teacher's aide positions in schools, in daycares. Maybe you could try your ideas out on the kids there at the daycare. I thought, oh, I've never thought of that before.
It's your own focus group.
Yeah. So I said, okay. And I think it only paid like $4 an hour.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But hey, back then, it still wasn't a very big amount of money. But anyway, I get there, Alice Smith Elementary School in Hopkins, Minnesota, which was like an award-winning school district. They had really good schools. And I walked into this elementary school, and I got to tell you, Heidi, when I walked in there, I felt like I was in second grade again. And I thought, holy moly, I haven't learned anything since I was here before. It wasn't that same school, but it was a school just like it. And to my surprise, now there were kindergartners who were in the daycare because there was a morning kindergarten and afternoon kindergarten. But during the day, they had to be somewhere and the after school kids. So it was a in-school latchkey. And when the older kids came in, I saw my cousin, Pat Shebick. He was a second grader at the time, and I had no idea. So that was kind of cool.
Aw, that is kind of cool. I like that.
I started doing all the bulletin boards and doing a lot of big art in there. And one of the teachers there was noticing that, and she came in and she wanted me to teach some classes to gifted children. Now, I was only 18 years old. I didn't have a college degree or anything like that. And I said, sure. So I taught a class on cartooning and another class on inventing. And it was really so much fun. I was basically teaching the classes I wish they would have had when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So a lot of fun. And it really was quite lovely.
That's really nice. That's sweet. But you left the school system then when you went to Hasbro? Is that what, or did you ever jump back in?
Actually, after that job, I got another job at a different daycare. Well, this one was in a church in Navarre, Minnesota, which was much closer to my home. And so I worked there for a while, and it was there when I got the call. But while I was there, this was early childhood development or something like that. And I noticed that when the older kids came, school age kids came, they were kind of rowdy. And there was like one guy who was like the leader of the other kids, Ryan. And have you ever seen Lord of the Flies?
Yes.
Okay, it was kind of like
Long
that. I
time
mean,
ago. Oh.
it was it was and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta I gotta keep these kids busy somehow, because they were banding together and
Oh, jeez. I know what
troublemaking,
you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
troublemaking.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, kids, and they were different ages, different like some were first grade, second grade, third grade, and I said, okay, kids, we're going to start something new. It's called the Eagles Club. They were the Eagles. The different ages were different animals in this daycare. And so I said, okay, if you read a book, now I will quiz you to make sure you read the book. And depending on your age and the level of the book, I'll give you points. And the points were given out in like, I made these cartoon dollars. They look like dollar bills.
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, and I want you to tell your parents. I sent a note home for the parents to bring discarded toys they don't want anymore. And we put those in a bin and we priced them. And then one day a week was the purchase day. So you could take the money you made by reading to buy something. And Ryan turned into a bookworm.
Oh,
And
you're so good.
his mom came to me and I thought this guy was going to reform school or something. His mom came to me teary-eyed saying, oh my God, Aaron, thank you so much for getting my son into reading. He never read before, and now he's the number one reader in his class.
Oh, I love those stories.
Wow.
Bravo. You were your own scholastic club. Remember the scholastic fairs?
Yeah.
You were your own fair. That's such a great idea, though. That was really sweet. Again,
Thanks.
you're solution based. That was really sweet.
I didn't know it was going to do anything. I just was trying to keep these kids busy, but luckily it had a good effect.
Yeah. Well, you kept them busy, but you empowered them too. I love that word. Yeah.
Yes.
That's really cool. Nice.
And a tip to anyone with a lot of kids, or you're teaching or something, the kids are rowdy, have it be coloring time or reading time. Those are the times where everyone kind of quiets down and they're on a different level there. And it's just much, much more calm.
Oh gosh, the most peaceful moments with the center, because we do a lot of Steiner stuff, is the watercolors, and they just use primaries and then they mix those to make other colors. But just that's so meditative, watching the water move and the dark to the light, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, art I think is a great way to bring a child back in.
Oh yeah, and you know what? When I was in second grade, I had a speech therapist, because I was having trouble with my R's and my S's, I guess. But one thing we did, and I never forgot about it, was we did a lot of art, and we did watercolors on like the back of tinfoil.
Ooh.
And that was really cool. I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tinfoil
nice. Because it won't saturate, so you're just kind of moving it around.
Right.
That's the effect.
It's kind of like colored chrome or something when you're
cool. Oh, nice. That's cool for like recycling and everything too. You're giving me ideas, Aaron. Thank you.
So you can do it flat, or you can crumple it up first and flatten it out, and then all the little wells fill up. It's really pretty. It's a pretty
nice. Good call. I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but I saw that you were you've seen my post about Barbie, right? Remember I was at the toy convention and I you were at the toy convention, but it was like a decade later, I think, but you had a booth there. Had you just started your company, or because Hot Game
in Chicago? In Chicago?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was 2013 or 14 or something. At least that's when I saw the video. Maybe you were there earlier, and that's just when you
12 or 13. Yeah, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I was there a couple of years.
So they have a huge toy convention.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Yeah.
And they have inventors there too, which is really, really, I really like that too. So,
but you brought your hit. You had, was it Tetragon? and it was the first, right? That I saw that as your booth, and I'm like, there it is, folks. This game. Two, you have two now, 1 and 2, right?
Well, no, it's just one.
It's just re-released or something.
Well, I put 2 on there because it's 2-player, and the name Tetragon was already taken by someone else, so I kind of made it a little bit different. But
you made it your own. Yeah. Holy smokes! The kids at the center love this one. It's and it's Mensa. Mensa, I'm saying that right? Mensa approved.
Mensa. It was featured at Mensa Mind Games 2013. And if you look there, that triangle shaped piece there with the white circle on it, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All of the red triangles are the potential first moves of that one piece.
Okay.
You can go forward 1, sideways 1, backwards 1. If nothing's in your way, you can go diagonal as far as you can go without hitting someone. You can't jump. It's a fun game. It's a non-violent game of strategic creation. First one to create 2 complete tetragons wins square. And if someone does this, like you got 3 of them, and then the other guy puts his in, that locks it, and now you can't move those. But now the dark colored player, he will not be able to win. So it's kind of fun.
It's pretty cool. A lot of ages. That's a big age range game. That's what I like too. A lot of the age ranges can know that. That's our rainy day go-to at the center.
Made in America.
Made in America.
Woohoo! And yeah.
Well, the little tiles were wood too, weren't they?
Yes.
Because I noticed some of your products a lot are natural. Like the Flipster car. You gifted another one when I was just visiting, and it's just like, look at it. It's just so handcrafted. It's beautifully handcrafted. And I'm telling you, people don't, if you don't have kids or you don't work with kids, maybe it's hard to comprehend it. But that little sucker will keep kids busy for a long time.
Yeah.
It's surprising. It doesn't take a lot. It takes the most simple, natural products to keep them busy.
Yes.
So that was a good one.
Here's the pieces. They're maple and walnut. So they're
beautiful.
Real wood, laser cut out, and it's just a fun game. There's no jumping, there's no capturing, so that's why I say it's a non-violent game of strategic creation. You're just creating. It's really just creating and blocking. And I've had like 3 4-year-old girls beat me their first time playing it. And the other good thing about this is, here's the instruction sheet. It's just 1 page, and on the back it's the tiebreaker and the tournament. But so very simple, very simple.
Oh yeah, I didn't have to explain a thing. They figured it out on their own, and again, kept them busy for so long, in a gentle, nonviolent way. No like cutthroat competition. It's like
if you ever have any questions about, if something comes up and you have a question, you can call me anytime, and I'll let you know what the deal is with the game. Sometimes there's questions that rise up, and there's a warning on here. I gotta point this out because people might not understand. Of course, there's the small parts warning for kids under 3, so make sure you're over 3. But there's another warning here, right here. See, it says, warning, your personality may show while playing Tetragon. That's actually a great way to learn get to know somebody, is to play them a game like this, because your personality just comes out.
That's so great. That's awesome.
One more thing about this game that I'm really proud of, as I told you, it was at the Mensa Mind Games event, and to get there, they have to request your game. And it has to be a new game that year, and it has to be a board game. So they only take 50, around 50. I think they took 53 or 54 that year. And they have 300 or 400 of their members play the games. I think they each get 20 games they play. But I got a call from Joseph Haber. He was one of the Mensa members. And he said that he's been with Mensa since '95, and he always does the mind games, and he always plays every single game, even though he's not really required to. But he called me up the next day. He said, I just had to call you and thank you for submitting Tetragon 2 because your game truly is a new and unique strategy game. He goes, we just don't see this. It was like a breath of fresh air. He goes, mostly what we see is like
like refurbished kind of
retheming of Rummy or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was really proud of that.
You should be. That's huge. What a seal of approval right there.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Was that toy convention, was that one of the, did you get a lot of, promotion there, or
no,
were you already full steam? No,
it was very unfortunate. When I started my toy company, I was on unemployment and I had no money. So I got a little bit of money and just enough to go to that fair. And it turned out to not be really a business type fair. It was more of a public fair. So there were no toy stores there. There was one toy store there, and they were exhibiting. And I went over there to talk to them about getting my products in their store. I said, we don't have anyone to talk to you. We're busy with customers. And I always thought that the toy fair in New York, they don't allow the public in. And now I know why, because you can't get any business done. So.
Okay. That was my next question. Yeah. Cause that's what it felt like. I was just there taking pictures with customers and tourists, and it wasn't like they were yeah, they weren't, what do they call them? Marketers, or I can't remember. Yeah. Right. Like shopping for your product. We need this in our store. Aw, sorry about what an experience, How did were you selling online, or were you at the stores there in Door County, or how did you start to get your products out?
Well, I was going from store to store, just in person selling them and doing live demos, and I had them in the Mall of America, and I'm all throughout large part of Wisconsin here. And but when you're one person, you can't really do a whole lot. And I found out very quickly that to get into distributorship, you need to have a big line. They're not going to take a 1 or 2 product company. So all the rules are made by the big companies. So they don't want little guys in there messing up their deal. So, yeah. And, also, I showed that game, Tetragon, for 33 years as an inventor to companies, because I had an in at all of the major toy companies. And every time I showed it, it was taken in for review, but no one ever bought it. And they loved it. And they say, well, Aaron, we'd love this game. We'd love to do it. But it's an abstract strategy game for 2. And there's just no market for that. And he's right.
Really?
He's right. Yeah, because if someone goes into a game store and they're looking for an abstract strategy game, they're going to get either checkers, chess, Go, Pente, Othello, something like that. They're not going to play something they haven't played before. They're not going to buy something. So I found that really the only time my games were selling well was when I was there doing demos. And I did give one to Jesse Ventura, and I got a picture.
I saw that picture. Yeah, that's
cool. Yeah,
that is very cool. Well, I love the game, and I'm honored to have it. So thank you so very much for gifting. Do you have a bunch? Can anybody reach out to you and get one from you, or are they still? Do you have still in stock, or?
I still have a very limited number in stock that could sell, and I'm going to be offering my toys, through my show very, very soon. And
awesome. Okay.
Is that
I know I was going to get in that next. Is that the 3 a.m. show or your Truth Quest?
Truth Quest.
Okay, cool. That's your peeps. Okay, so yes, on to the most, oh my gosh. Now that's when my personality came out with the SuperCubes because I can't even catch it twice. But I saw the world record. The one boy did, I think, 14 or 15 times. But when did these come about? People, I wish you could touch the screen. They're just the coolest. It feels so cool.
Yeah, they're made of the bounciest substance on Earth, and it took me a year and a half to find this material. And what happened was, after I was let go from Tonka Toys, because I worked for Hasbro, then I went to Tonka. After I was let go at Tonka, they got rid of a third of their whole staff. Basically, everyone they'd hired in the last 2 years. And I was one of those people. And so I wanted to start my own toy company. And I thought, well, I want to do basic toys with a twist. And I thought, well, what's the most basic toy? A rubber ball.
Super ball. Yeah.
But what can I do to make that different? And I thought, wait a minute, what if it's square?
It's so like, that's what it makes me do.
I got one of those little super balls out of the gumball machine, and I cut the side so it was a square, and I bounced. I went, oh my goodness, it was just alive
everywhere. It's alive. Yeah.
And so I talked to my dad, because my dad, rest his soul, was, and here he is right there, Frank Moriarity. He was an excellent tool maker, and he made the 4-cavity tool for this product. And so I brought it to a molder, and we wanted to make it, I wanted to make it out of the same stuff that super balls are made out of. So we tried that material, but they broke coming out of the mold, because it turns out that's a highly unstable material. And the only shape you can mold it in is a sphere, because a sphere is the strongest shape in nature. So I had to search for another kind of rubber, or thermoplastic rubber. So I tried all of them. And my dad made me a round mold so I could have these molded in different kinds of rubbers. And I found this material. Now you take a normal super ball, even like the one from Whammo, and you bounce it. It's got about a 75% bounce back when you bounce it. You drop it from here, and it comes back to about here. This stuff had a 90% bounce back. It's like, whoa, it really is the bounciest substance on Earth, and it floats in water, and they're the best eraser you ever used too.
They tested that too. Yeah.
You can't take it away. It's your eraser.
I know. And you know what? They try. Some of it won't go down. It's like the everlasting gobstopper eraser.
Yeah. It'll just get kind of dirty, and you just kind of got to rub it with your thumb and rinse it off or something. Yeah, nothing really wears off on it. And they're super durable. I mean, and they're made out of a kind of an expensive rubber that was never used for super balls.
That's so clever. That was very clever, because again, I don't know. It's just, it's not predictable. It's just going to do whatever the F it wants. and they love it. The kids freak out. They love it. They love it. But there's one little boy that was able to, he holds the world record, 14 or 15, can 15. Bounce and catch it in a row that many times.
After the first bounce. Yeah. After a first bounce. And he did it.
I can't even picture that.
The world record was 9 before that. And these things sell whether I'm there or not, because they're in a dump bin, usually by the register, and people try them and they freak out, and they have to get one. And so they're guaranteed to bounce different every time, or your money back.
You always have the cute little phrases for things. Yeah. You got your shtick down.
The SuperCubes are great, and I'm going to be selling them in a little 6-pack here that comes with a little a sheet that shows you different games you can play. Like, one game that you can play is you find a line in the either carpet or the tile 3 or 4 feet away from the wall, and you and your buddy stand there with your SuperCubes, and you try to toss them, kind of like pitching pennies.
Mm-hmm.
And whichever one lands when it stops bouncing, which lands closer to the wall, that's the winner. And that's a great way for them to play quietly and to not get too rambunctious with it, because you can get pretty rambunctious with these. But I have taken this and thrown it as hard as I could at a large picture window. It didn't break.
Oh, nice.
So they're fairly safe, but I have to warn people, do not ever bounce them on a street. If they happen to bounce away into a street, you look both ways. You wait till it's clear, and then you wait till it stops rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go get it and make sure that you're always safe, because they're crazy and they'll bounce every which way. Pets love them too.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we had to take him to the school. But there's a smell. I mean, I don't know if it's the product. The cat would lick it and try to gnaw on it, but the dog would just bark and go crazy at it. So, of course, they were teasing the heck out of the dog. Like, this is going to the classroom.
Wow.
But so you're saying, so with these products, you can get these products now? Or how are you going to be selling that 6-pack? Is that online through TruthQuest?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on getting a little website put up. So as soon as that's up, I'll be able to do that.
Perfect.
But if anyone wants to email me, they can email me about it at hotgamesandpuzzlesllc@gmail.com.
There you go. I'm so late to the party because I think we were talking last year, and I'm like, what a great Christmas episode. We'll talk Christmas toys, and then it's summer, but now it can be back to school toys, and the holidays coming, just to get people's minds swirling there. Well, tell me too about now, not just kids, because my sister took a liking to. I'm trying. I should have left some for her, but you made the most gorgeous. People heard me talk about Door County. That's where you're from. That's how I know you too. And this coloring book. It's gorgeous. It's like adult coloring, but I mean, anybody can color it. Yeah, but it's like picturesque. Every page is a framer. It's really pretty, Aaron. You did such a nice job with that, because you did. Yeah, it's really nice. It's such a gorgeous territory and everything.
Tetragon ad in the back there too.
Oh, you gotta throw that in there, yeah. But adults love this. It's not just the kiddos. You're marketing to the adults too.
Wilson's, of course, they have really good hot hamburgers and ice cream. And there's a beautiful iris. These are all taken in Door County, and the shading is already there. You can color it with color pencils or color crayons or whatever.
There's the birch.
It's just, and each one will fit in a 8x10 frame. Mm-hmm. There's another. Look at those flowers. It's just,
I know, it's so sweet.
So much fun to color. There's that red little lighthouse there. Mm-hmm. There's more lighthouses in Door County than any other county in America.
Isn't that interesting? Because everyone would think Maine or assume the East Coast, but no, Door County, yeah. I love it. I've been talking so much about it lately, and then I'm like secretly like, ooh, I don't want a lot of people to come. It's too quaint. My dad's favorite was the birch trees. At the end with my dad, he was Alzheimer's dementia, and his moments of bringing it back to one was coloring. So he was very much into the adult coloring books. He would have loved this, especially this is his hometown. Aw, look at that.
That's a rock crusher.
Isn't that on Washington Island?
Yeah, it's a rock crusher.
I've seen that in person, yeah.
It's fabulous. That's how they made the roads up there, the rock roads. They put the big stones in there, and then they pulled it with the horses or a truck or something, and it would grind up into little rocks.
Wow.
But it's all from photographs. It's the first one of its kind. I think it's the only one of its kind. It's just a joy to color too. And boy, talk about a stress reliever.
Yes. Yep.
It will just, and you can see here, it's half the image in the book and half the photo, so you can see kind of what colors they could be.
Yeah. But, you didn't take the pictures though, right? It was a local photographer.
I
you took all those pictures?
Yep, yep, I did.
Geez, so you do that really well too.
Well, I mean,
Well, the gorgeous photos.
you
It's
just point
professional
and click.
photos.
You just point and click. It's pretty
I
easy.
can't tell you how many people can't actually do that.
Really?
They're just like, sorry, mom. I'm just kidding.
But I want to do a number 2 of this, a second edition with some newer pictures but basically
Do it.
each spread is a place and flowers. So there's a church that's in Egg Harbor, beautiful stone church.
I know exactly where that
And
is.
look at those crazy flowers.
Yeah.
This was at one of the campgrounds there, Frontier Wilderness
Oh, I
Campground in
miss it.
Wisconsin. Yeah.
I'm.
And
Aw.
here's downtown Fish Creek.
Ooh, ooh.
There's downtown Fish
Oh,
Creek.
there's Bayside. Is that
The
Bayside?
Bayside, yep. Now, did you know Billy McDonald?
My sister does. Well, now I think I met, but right?
Well,
We
Billy sadly passed away on his birthday in '98, I think.
okay.
But his
So
brother his brother and sister is still, or brothers and sister are still around,
then
and
now's who my sister. Yeah. Aw.
his brother is a famous rock and roller. I mean, he was one half of Timbuk 3 and The Future's So Bright I Gotta Wear Shades, Pat McDonald. And he's a really super nice guy. The whole family are really super nice people.
Yeah.
And they have the Steel Bridge Song Fest every year in June, where they were going to tear down the historic Steel Bridge. And so they put this together, and they had Jackson Brown come out for a couple of years and all these different artists. And it's the Steel Bridge Song Fest where you write a song about the Steel Bridge and then they perform it all over town. And it's just like a fabulous, fabulous thing. And they do other writing things where they spin the bottle and they pair people up and they create an impromptu band and they create new music together. It's really fabulous. It's really,
I
really
love it.
quite something else.
I mean, I know there's so many small towns around America, but of course my heart's with Door County, and because there's nothing that beats that small town vibe in the community that's around. Yeah, Heather's got some players at her, Robert Plant's guitarist, I think, and then from Survivor too. There's another player there. He's on the Thursday nights. Now we're segueing into our private conversations, but yeah, a couple of musicians retreated to Door County.
Oh yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
Pat McDonald at the Holiday Music Motel. That's where they produce a lot of the music that they do there. And the sound guy was the sound guy from Prince. And he passed away a few years ago, sadly. But
and you have the Prince, Minnesota connection too.
Yeah, Prince, very nice guy, very nice fella. Met him a couple times, and he was always very, very nice.
He knew a few things. Yeah, he knew a few things. Well, the farmer's market there, your son is there, and he's doing woodworking, right? He has his own. Yes. He did the cars?
Yeah, he's making the cars for me now. He also makes these cutting boards and just beautiful, beautiful things. I just can't believe how well he does this. I mean, he's so good at my flipsters were just one color. He's got these multicolored things and just
beautiful woodworking.
Yeah, he's just amazing. And my daughter with her crocheting and
oh yeah, the bumble. Did you show that before? Can you show the bee? Oh well, now it's somewhere personal again, but it's just in your blood. It's in your family. There's nothing like good craftsmanship when it comes to kids' toys, adults' toys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet? She crocheted and knitted that. Yeah.
Yeah. And my mom taught her how to crochet. Crocheting is a lot of fun.
Nice.
Of course, my mom makes these ducks, these geese.
That's what a wood too, right? Yeah. And she painted. You just have a creative family. Little creator beans over there.
And these are carved even with the feather detail.
That's you get the nicest art up there, I tell you.
Well.
And you're surrounded by your family's goods.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's so sweet. I'm excited that you can get the products again because you've been so generously gifting them to me. So I'm like, I want everybody to have one. You get one and you get one. So I really hope people understand what good craftsmanship and a good actual sensory toy is like.
Yeah. These, I mean, the SuperCubes will last forever. These cars should last forever. They're hard wood, so they can take a lot of beating and still keep on rolling, you know. And of course, when you flip down on the back, they do a flip. So
and they land right on they land right on their feet again, roll wheels again.
Yes, that's the hope anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell a little bit? I know we're kind of streaming down. Can you talk a little bit about Popple? And how you created it, when you created it? And it's a series. I mean, you have a couple different books.
This is the first Popple book. Now, I illustrated these, but I did not write them. Okay. So they're written by Judy Johnson in Green Bay. And there I am. I'm the illustrator there. And,
I love the illustrations, though. But those illustrations for Popple, you also did the possum. Wasn't it the possum?
Oh, the Awesome Possum. Yeah, that's the one I wrote. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not out yet. But
okay.
So this is what the book looks like in the inside. I gave you some of these, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Oh, good.
So beautiful. I'm not even prepared. I was just excited to talk to you, and I didn't grab them.
There's his Aunt Flo, and there's Popple. He sits on a rock all day. He has no friends.
Oh.
It's a really cute story, and that's why I agreed to be the artist for it, because it was such a cute story. So he ventures into the woods to see if he can find some friends. His aunt told him, don't go in the woods because scary creatures are there. But he meets all these fanciful characters. That's Sammy the squirrel. And without reading the whole thing to you, they all decide, you know what? We can't be friends with you. You're a people. Here's Miller the Mole. I mean, he's a little styled after me, kind of.
That's awesome.
Got the bouffant hairdo.
Yes.
The pompadour. But so they all are very friendly, but they're like, no, yeah, you're a people. And
people say that now.
Yeah. So then here's the fox, fancy the fox. He sees her and wants to make friends with her. And of course, she's not going to have it. He's a people, not going to do it. And then he's getting sad. He's kind of feeling, he's a little tear in his eye there. And he sees this owl. See the tear in his eye? And so there's Ollie the owl. And by the way, these books were endorsed by Jeff Foxworthy, and he agreed to be the voice of the owl if it became a cartoon. So there's Ollie the owl. Of course, he comes to the same conclusion that, and now the people would be such a sight. Why, my friends would be laughing all day and all night. It's all written in rhyme too, and so he goes home crying because no one will be his friend. But Ollie sees that, okay? Starts to rethink his thinking. And so he goes around and collects everybody, gathers everybody around. Come over, we gotta talk. So they do. And he tells them, look, we can be friends with this kid. Now, how can that be? I'm not reading it, but so they decide, he's not a people, he's a popple. So it's a great story. I mean, it's a really, really good story. So
yeah,
they all come and they become his friend, and it's just a happy ending. And
aww.
The second book is the critters notice that when his aunt leaves to go into town, he's got no place to go. Oh, there's that Jeff Foxworthy endorsement there. He is
There you go.
such a nice guy, and
I heard. Sorry, go ahead.
he hardly knew us, and he lent his good name for our project. So that was really, really something else. Now in Popple's bedroom, you see some art on the walls, and the top piece of art is one of the author's children. The one right below that, the mummy, that's my daughter did that. No, my son did that, I'm sorry. And the flower next to it is the author's daughter. And the blue panther, my daughter did. So they get credit in the book for those. So that's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
But anyway, that's Popple.
That's beautiful. I love your illustrations. That's sweet.
Thank you. And here's you mentioned it, the Awesome Possum.
Yeah. You showed me that hard copy there. Yep.
Fear
the
not.
Awesome Possum.
Fear not, don't have any fear. And he just can do everything. He's pretty multi-talented.
That's like you, Aaron.
And it's narrated kind of by this little red bird, cute little red bird, and it's a cute little story. Basically, I'll just do it really quickly. There he is. Here's how he sleeps, because he's a possum. I'm not going to read it. Because it's so much to read. Look how much that is. See how in depth. It would take me forever to get through all that. But see, he can play like crazy. He's never lazy. He can skate backwards and forwards and all around. He can do a triple flip without hitting the ground. He can skateboard down trees and up over the creek, and he does all these. Well, he makes a fun squeak. And can he surf? You bet he sure can. He can surf much better than a surf beatnik man. Gotta get the surf beatnik guy in there. He has a trick bike. Check out how he rides. He does wheelies and jumps. He can really fly. And there's the bird again. Skateboards, roller skates, and trick bikes too. He can do amazing things. I wonder, can you? But that's not what makes him so cool and so awesome. It's not the tricks and stunts of this possum. It's not his skills and fun things that are cool. It's the way that he treats both me and you. There he is playing Tetragon. He is always nice. He listens to you. He does all the things a best friend would do. Look at that. He's eyeing up the cookies there. He is always polite, and he always asks please. He only asks once, never begs on his knees. Never beg on your knees, kids. Oh, I like this one. He is very helpful. He knows just what to say. He always does his chores before he goes out to play. Look at him doing the dishes. Happy little guy. I think kids need messages like this.
Oh,
here he is with all his toys. You can see he's got some flipsters. He's got some SuperCubes. And he's got the Tetragon game there.
Good cross-reference. Yeah, there you go. That's great.
Why not?
Why not?
He is very thankful for what he has. He doesn't want things with lots of pizzazz. He shares his toys, his books and stuff. It's easy to share. It's not that tough. Or he likes to share. Yeah. So you see, it's not all the cool things you can do. It's how nice you are to others. The real reason your friends like you. So there he is. That's the end.
I love these good messages. And you didn't have to bring up gender. You didn't have to bring up it's clean, healthy, good, heart-centered stuff.
Yeah. I think that it should be illegal to talk or display anything about sexuality in public ever.
I hear you. I'm with you there with the kiddos too, especially. I know we've heard all that's happening in the school systems. And just imagine a world where that's the kind of content your child is digesting. Manners and morals and just being a good human and good to one another. That's where we change the world.
That's
We
right.
need more awesome possums out there.
We do. Yes, we do. We do.
Oh, well, I'm so happy you could chat with. I'm just gonna, I mean, when you get that website, please let me know.
I
And
will.
then, of course, everyone, I know they can find you on Truth Quest. But do you want to share anything else? Where else anyone else can find you? Where are you still other than social media? Because they took him off YouTube, people. That's just
Yep. They took me off YouTube. Too much truth. They
too
couldn't
much
handle it.
truth.
They couldn't
Too much
handle it.
truth.
So I'm on Rumble, Truth Quest with Aaron Moriarity on Rumble. And I might be on the Foxhole, but that's I'll have to learn a bunch of things first. But oh, did you ever see my time machine?
No, I bet this will be a giggle, though.
Yeah. So
Everything usually results in a giggle with what he shows.
here it is. At last, a real time device. Okay. Time travel device. This is a real time travel device, folks. So it says, yes, now you can go into the future as far as you want, whenever you want. But remember, there's a big warning there. Big warning. Warning. This is a one-way time device. It can only take you into the future. It cannot, I repeat, this device cannot take you back in time, only forward into the future. Okay. So this time device is complex, yet simple. Futuristic, yet old-fashioned. The way you travel to the future with this amazing time device is as simple as time itself. Yes. Let's see. Time crystals are the key element in this time travel device. Instructions. Here's the instructions. Turn the time device upside down, and when the time crystals go into the bottom time chamber, you have now transported yourself into the future. 1 minute into the future. The process takes approximately 60 seconds. So there you go.
Then you're in the future.
Now, some people, they love traveling into the future. They'll do this all day long, keep turning it over and turn. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. You'll be so far in the future, you'll miss things. So.
Oh my gosh, I could picture all these things. And Spencer's. That would be a good Spencer. You remember Spencer's? Yes, that's a good one. What other? I know you have more fun trinkets in there. Before we, do you have another fun? Another.
What do I have?
Or did I? Wait, you're forgetting one of the biggest ones. I don't understand why you're wearing it, but why did you wear your mask today?
Oh, my Invisimask.
That was a funny one.
I have it on, my Invisimask. Yes, I invented this because I saw the struggle people were having with masks, and realizing that they just build up bacteria, and you can't see smiles. So I wanted to create a completely invisible mask that works with your immune system and doesn't obstruct your breathing, allows you to breathe in and breathe out. Even you can eat through it. And so I could have made millions, but it's my gift to humanity. I biolocated everyone's face, and I teleported one onto everyone's face. You already have one, so you don't need a mask. If you see someone wearing a mask, remind them they've got the Invisimask on. State-of-the-art nanoparticles, and it keeps you safe and healthy.
Thank you for humanity. Thanks you. That was a goodie.
You're welcome. So the least I could do.
I love it. I hope you keep creating. I mean, I love your series Truth Quest. And I know you're still doing with Andrew, right? Andrew Basiago. He's every 2 weeks, or he's got his own platform. No.
He's got his own show on my show, but it's sporadic. See,
Okay.
he's in kidney dialysis 3 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
and he's blind now.
Mm.
So, and when he wants to do a show, he lets me know, and then we do a show, usually on like a Thursday or a Sunday or something like that.
Okay.
But so make sure if you want to see Andrew DiBisciago, of course, he's the time traveling Mars visitation, teleporting chrononaut from DARPA's Project Pegasus and Project Mars. So, and he's, oh, he just, on his Facebook page, so go on his Facebook page, Louis Reinhardt just uploaded an interview he did with Art Bell in 2015, just a few years before Art Bell died. And Andy dropped a quantum bombshell at the end of that show.
What did he say? What did he say? Or do we have to go look it up?
He said, well, when he was in the program in Project Pegasus as a child participant in DARPA's Project Pegasus, he and some other children were going to, I think, Nutley, New Jersey, to a facility there that DARPA was using. And they had to teleport back and forth to try to eliminate some time slips that were happening. And there was a technician working on stabilizing the quantum hologram from the chronovisor so they could enter it and travel through time. And the technician was having a little bit of problems, and the kids were there with this woman, Elaine Gallagher, who I guess was a very beautiful woman. She was kind of bringing the kids there. And the technician said, would you tell those kids to blanking shut up? And Elaine came over to him and she said, we're not supposed to swear in front of the children. I'm gonna have to write you up. She goes, what's your name? He goes, Arthur something Bell, but you can call me Art because you're pretty or something like that. And he ended up dating her a couple times.
Oh, wow.
And so Andy told him that this story, and he was so flummoxed. He like, oh, we got to go to a commercial. He claimed that he was working on a separate project for NATO, but he was working on the chronovisor. That's what he was doing. So, yeah, Art Bell was a technician back in the 70s working on stabilizing the waveform for the chronovisor. Boom.
Boom. Big old boom right there. The booms are back. Wow. Thank you for that little juicy tidbit there.
You're welcome.
I'm going to have to check out his page too.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, folks, that's just like the tiniest little morsel. You can get deep dives with Aaron. Gosh, you're doing it every other day or every couple days you're on your show. So thank you for doing that, by the way. Thank you for charging forward and continuing with that. I love your audience as well. Such an interactive, nice chat. I know it's been a while since I've jumped on there, but got to jump on there again. Good peeps. Good person to follow. And so my point, you have all this incredible research, you're interviewing, you're doing all this amazing stuff for the disclosure and truther communities, but you have this incredible history with children and toys and games, and you're a creator and an inventor. I love that side of you. And I really hope people get a chance now to digest this and get to know you a little bit more, because you're a special friend. And I want to thank you so much for chatting and sharing all your goods with me, in giving me these goods and then sharing with everybody your goods, because it's just such an honor to know you.
You're very welcome. And I feel the same way. You are a light in a world of darkness. And I just really, really like what you're doing, and the shows you're doing with your friend there that is the child expert.
With Lawrence, yeah, I think there's one airing right now.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for always supporting. You've been on the ride with me. You were my first interview. Aaron had me on Truth Quest, and I was on my little phone. Remember? And I think I had a lot of hopium then. I thought it was right after 2020 election. Like, we won't go down that hole, but it was a fun interview. And then we were doing each other's for a minute. So thank you for always supporting.
You're welcome. And
yeah.
for everyone else out there that's wondering why Heidi is so cool and so awesome, it's because she's a Care Bear. She's a real life Care Bear, and she cares. And so that's awesome.
Thank you. I'm going to share the cartoon he did for me underneath this. Well, thanks for tuning in. I'll share links in case anyone doesn't know yet, but I think word on the street is you're an OG. So sign up on Rumble if you're looking for him, because YouTube and Facebook. You're on Facebook too. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
And Twitter.
Thank you so much. And thank you for coming in to see me when I came to visit. I had to cut my visit short, just being in Door County. So I hope to see you again there soon. And that's our little side note. We'll talk after this. Okay, stand by. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you very soon.